It starts. Okay, we are recording. We're ready for your report when you are.
All right. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Give me a second to share my presentation. Share my screen. Okay. So feel free if you have any questions on anything I say, go ahead and type it in the chat. And then I think right after we'll maybe pause, or at the end of the meeting, we'll pause for questions. Feel free to ask me anything except for when are we reopening, because that I still do not know. I have no clue. Talks about having all of LUSD staff vaccinated by end of February, so early March, so maybe sometime in March, maybe, fingers crossed, but I do not have any more details regarding that. So, but I do have some information. All right, let me move this out the way so I can see the presentation. All right, so those are a few things that have changed. There was a new UTLA LUSD kind of amended agreement. Basically, the highlights are there's been some additional minutes added onto Mondays to make up for that morning assembly. There's additional office hours added, 30 minutes each day, Tuesday through Friday, for students and parents to have access to the teachers. It's totally up to the teacher's discretion as to what the office hours will look like. They get to select their times. They get to select the format, whether it be email, Zoom, etc. And you should have received an updated classroom schedule from your teachers with their office hours, and if anything else has changed, just to notify you guys. We are focusing on increasing engagement, participation, and giving the students more voice. Now, at the last morning assembly I kind of encouraged kids to turn their cameras on, and for the most part, I think it was pretty well received. Again, this is not like a blanket thing. I know some kids have difficulties, or they're shy, they prefer to have the cameras on, and we can kind of work on that on an individual case by case. The teachers are aware of who those kids are, and they have alternate ways of participating, make sure that they're participating and engaged. So again, it's not a mandatory thing. I know oftentimes kids, if they hear me say it, they're like, oh, I gotta have my camera on. And for some, that causes a lot of anxiety. So it's not 100%. Again, we are encouraging it, but there's times that kids want to turn the cameras on. If they want to turn the cameras off, that's completely okay. So I just wanted to correct that. Reading Tigers. So we're starting a new program. We're calling it the Reading Tigers, and it's in order to support early literacy in grades K through 3. So we have two new positions. There's a primary promise intervention coordinator, which is Miss O'Neill, who's kind of shifting into that position. And we hired a new assistant, and her name is Mrs. Lauren Thomas. And she's going to be processed soon, and she'll be working very closely with Miss O'Neill and the teachers to provide additional early literacy support in grades K through 3. So we're talking about the alphabet, phonemics, sound, blending, dissecting words, putting them back together, to make sure that by grade 3 that all kids are reading. It will be either a push-in or a pull-out, depending on the classroom, depending on scheduling. So either Miss O'Neill or Mrs. Thomas will go into the Zooms with the teachers, and they'll do like a breakout group, or it might be separate, where the kids will be logging into a separate Zoom with either Miss O'Neill or Mrs. Thomas to get instruction that way. Okay. This program is by invitation only. We are looking at DIBELS data. We're looking at teacher recommendation to see which kids really kind of need additional support in those areas, and we'll be reaching out to those families. Very excited about this program. It's an additional teaching position that we're not having to pay for. So the district is completely paying for Miss O'Neill's salary and Mrs. Thomas's salary. So it's a great addition for us. We're very excited about that. School experience survey. Okay, so as you guys know, the school experience survey is an annual survey administered in the fall to all schools. Survey results provide schools with important feedback from teachers, staff, students, and parents. So we ask family members to take it, the teachers and staff members to take it, and kids in 5th grade and up also take it. So thus far, we have 82 families out of 251 have completed the survey. So 33%. So we're pretty low on that. Now, that seems to be kind of par for all the districts, all the schools right now. So it's very low kind of participation rate. So you're wondering, hey, Mr. G, what can I do to help you? How can I get the district off your back on this one? Well, if you guys could log in to achieve.lsd.net/school experience survey and kindly take the survey. Now, I know many of you already have. If you've done so, thank you so much. If you haven't, you have till February 5th. I will be reminding you many more times up until then. But again, we do want to get ideally 100% participation, but I'd take something in the 90% would be fine too. But it is valuable information, and we look at it very closely to see how we can improve the school. So it's a great time to voice your opinion. So please complete the survey. Enrichment opportunities. So our partnership continues with the Windward School. They are providing after-school science and art classes for grades, sorry, not grades K through 3. It's grades 3 through 5. They're middle school, high school, so they like to work with our older kids. So there was notifications had gone home. It's a first come, first serve type thing. So great opportunities. It's a great school. We've had a lot of success with their programs, and we're very fortunate to be partnered up with them for all the things that they provide us. The Mar Vista Community Council is hosting a STEAM event that is Saturday, February 13th. Here is the flyer. This has been emailed to you guys from Cami. So there's a little more information here, and I'll send it out again as we get closer to the actual date. So it's a great afternoon of science, and there is a free kit to the first 100 families who sign up. So take advantage of it. It's a great opportunity. Richland, Webster, other schools that are in the kind of Mar Vista area will have an opportunity to participate in this. So it's an online event, but other upcoming parents meetings. Coffee with the Principal will be held this coming Monday at 11 a.m. Parent Council with Mr. Gatus will be Monday afternoon at 6 p.m. And then a little bit of ways ahead, but the next parent workshop with Fran will be Thursday, March 18th. And then I'm going to end with kindness. Next week is Kindness Week. So the entire week, we will be emailing home some like a checkoff list of different kind acts that the kids can work on throughout the week in celebration of Kindness Week virtually. So look for that. And that's all I have for right now. Let me stop sharing. And back to you, Caden Silva. Any questions on anything so far that I presented on?
I don't see anything in the chat.
Okay, well, I'll be around for the duration.
I think we have a question from
Reshare
Danielle.
the upcoming dates, certainly. There we go. So Coffee with the Principal next Monday, Parent Council next Monday, and then Fran's workshop is still a ways away, but March 18th is the scheduled one. And then next week is Kindness Week, starting off with Monday. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. G.
Thank you.
Danielle, did you have us another question?
I do. Mr. G, I just wanted to see, I heard some parents at another school talking about the program through their school library. They are allowed to check out books through Destiny. It's apparently on Schoology. And they said it's been great because they've been able to go in and get books from their kids' school library with the school librarian. It's just a super close to home, easy way to like keep the kids reading and engaged. I went on Schoology and I found Destiny, but I couldn't figure it out. Is that something that our school is using? And if so, do we use the Destiny program? Oh wait, I think you're muted.
So yes, we do use Destiny to catalog the books and to check out and check back in the books. That is something Katie and I have been talking about. We're looking to kind of launch something similar. The biggest problem right now is that nobody's allowed on campus. So except we have the exception of Eliza and Danny, our plant management custodians are there because there's construction taking place. But once construction ceases, they will not be on campus either. the plan managers will be doing kind of like a weekly drive-by to check on to see how the campus is doing. But we are still under safer from home orders, and nobody is allowed on campus. So once that is lifted, then we would be happy to start some sort of a library checkout system where you can kind of drive up, get some books, and then get that going. So yeah.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, we've been doing it at the local county library, which is great. But you oftentimes have to like wait for books to be shipped to that library. And then just knowing that it's something right at Richland, like we could just walk up there. It would just be really convenient and a fun way for the boys to still kind of feel like they're at school, you know, like there's your school. So yeah, if that's something that could kick off at some point, I think it would be.
Absolutely. So as soon as that order is lifted, I'm sure there's many staff members who would be happy to go back into work, including myself. So yes. Kindness week. So we have, there's going to be a checkoff list. It's kind of an abbreviated version that is going to get emailed home probably tomorrow. And there's also a calendar that Ms. Morikawa kind of created, which is kind of a cute little calendar where there's like it's basically a do a kind act every day. And although we're kind of winding up January, I'd be happy to send the February one home as well. So it's just basically, there's a little checkoff list where the kids have an opportunity to do the things on the list. Practice kind acts, send little messages, put kind thoughts in the chat, to different activities that they can do to just practice kindness. So there will be a calendar coming. Yeah, that's the Ms. Morikawa's one. There's like a kind act every single day. French books to check out. So that would be to what Danielle said.
Yeah, so kind of piggybacking on what Danielle said. So we, in first grade, we've been formally checked out before the safer at home thing, like you're saying, no one's allowed on campus, some physical English books. And then when I asked about French books, I was surprised to hear that it's pretty low resources on that end. There's not a ton of physical French books in the library. So I don't know if this question belongs more in the budget and how we can boost that area, but I'm just curious, like what the French resources look like from a library perspective and if we need to make plans to augment.
Yes, there are French books in the library, not as big a selection as what's in the classroom. So we have all the kind of books put into the classroom based on reading levels, just like we do in English. So levels A, B, C, D, you know, all the way through Z. We have them in English and in French. So the bulk of the French books are in the teachers' classrooms, so the kids can have more access to them. But we do have, quite a few in the library as well. There's various age appropriate for all the grade levels. We also have a lot of like magazines and different things in French too that we can also lend out. Kind of much like a highlights magazine in English, but like a French version of it. So it has lots of activities, cartoons, mazes and such in French too. So we'd be happy to distribute that as well.
Okay.
But we can always use more. We're always looking.
Looks like we may have lost him.
Yeah.
But I think where he was headed was, yes, if we want to maybe consider, if we have surplus in our budget this year after we cover things, that could be an item we could consider. For sure. I guess that's my guess. I don't know for sure what he was going to say, but that would be my guess.
Yeah. And there's a question, if we can donate used French books, I would assume, I mean, I know in our classroom last year, there was a lot of, in TK, there was a lot of donated books. So I assume that's fine.
It is. A lot of people donate books. French teachers from around, French people who have kids have grown up and they bring us their bags of books. They're expensive to get for us. So that's hard, Carolina, is for us to,
Yeah, that's
but Booster has bought them for us and the consulate gives us money every year to buy more books. But, to build the classroom libraries, that's the first priority.
okay.
Right. Well, I think we can, while we wait for Mr. G to be back and if there's, see if there's other questions, we can maybe move to the next item on the agenda.
Yeah, that sounds good. Jim
Right,
or
then
here?
I'll take it from here. So when the booster board came on this year and started up, we took a look at our bylaws and realized that they were about 33 years old and were fairly outdated. So since this was a year of not having anything on campus, we decided it was a good opportunity to maybe do some admin work and bring Booster into the 21st century. So not wanting to start completely from scratch, we sourced probably 5 or 6 bylaws from other booster boards in the community, and we all read them over and sort of picked our favorite pieces from them and built our own sort of a Frankenstein monster of new booster bylaws. The board has met, I'm not quite sure how many times, but we've met numerous times, sort of talking it over, revising, putting them together. We're not fully finished yet, but just wanted to give everyone an update that we are in the process of working on them. Really, we want to clarify, the issues of what we mean by budget and elections, and really the purpose of the booster board and all of that. Again, finding that the old bylaws were fairly generic and didn't really reflect Richland, especially not Richland as it is today as a French immersion program. And also things like with COVID and Zoom meetings and all of that, we realized that there were really no descriptions around what it meant to have online meetings or to have online voting or all of these things, and understanding that as Richland expands, as we expand out into the community and go even beyond just the local area, it might make sense for some of those things to really be able to continue on, so that people who are working or live farther away from the school can still participate, actively participate. So again, we've been working on them. We've gone through several drafts. We're still working on the drafts. So we don't have anything to show yet, but wanted to give everyone sort of a heads up that that's what we've been working on. And hopefully soon we'll be bringing them to you for a vote. We'll send them out to you before the vote, so everyone has plenty of time to read through them, take a look, ask any questions, and then we again hope to bring it to everyone for a vote soon. But want to let you know that's sort of what the board has been working on this year. Again, in the absence of having on-campus events and on-campus fundraisers and all those kind of things that we're normally doing, we figured it was a good chance to do some admin cleanup. So if anyone has any questions about that, again, everyone on the board, we've all been working closely on it. So happy to answer any questions, or just let you know you'll be seeing them soon.
Thank you, Jim. I don't. If there's no questions, I can move to the next item on the agenda. Mr. G already mentioned the upcoming parent workshop with Mr. Gatos. I'm just going to share the flyer because it has the Zoom information for those who want to attend, so they can take note. It's here at the bottom. So it's on this upcoming Monday, January 25 at 25th at 6 p.m. And at the bottom of the flyer is the Zoom ID. And I can also post it on the Facebook page for those who want to attend that meeting. So you have the information. Again, it's a great platform for families to connect, especially in this online setting when we're far away from each other. Yeah, that's it about the Parent Council. And then if nobody has any question, we can also move to the next item. I'll stop sharing. The next.
Yes.
Pamela,
I think we are ready for you with the treasurer's report.
I can share.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Are you gonna? So how are you gonna?
I can share it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
So currently we have, if you could scroll up just a little bit, scroll down.
Mm-hmm.
No, scroll up. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. Oh, the other way.
Hold on. You should be able also to
There we go.
share.
So currently we have in our bank accounts 287,000. As we go through the budget every month, you can see that these are the middle items are the items that we've already paid. And the to paid column is what's still outstanding this year. Some of these items probably, I guess it really depends on if we go back to campus or not. But if you can scroll down, we can see that we still have about $36,000 that we're anticipating needs to be spent this year, which may or may not happen. Estimated funding for next year. Again, this is just an estimate based on previous budgets. We have, and assuming that will be on campus, that we have it estimated at 251. So the remaining cash that we need for this year and next year is 287. We currently have 257. We have open pledges of about 11 grand. So we are we're shy about 18 grand to, so we need to, come up with another 18 grand to cover the remainder of this year and all of next year. And that's that. Like I said, some of these items may not, depending on if we go back to on campus or not this year, we really may not be 18 grand under, but I guess, we'll just have to see every month as we go by. And then if you just scroll down, you can see the financial statement that's attached to it. And that just basically ties all the numbers out. Yeah, so please take a look at it. I think you were all emailed the packet, so I'm happy if you take a look at it. And if you have any questions, please, you can ask now or anytime you want to reach out to me. I'm always available to answer questions. That's it.
Thank you, Pamela. And yeah, the packet is also in the chat and it has the treasury report. We did also include the Richland bylaws in there that date back to 1987, if anybody's interested in reading those. Thank you. Then, yeah, we already, yes.
Yeah, so we covered the parent councils, and then I think we actually skipped the parent workshop earlier, but Mr. G had already shared those dates and information, so I think we're all set there. Pamela just reminded us that we do have a bit of a shortfall, so just another plug for ongoing fundraisers. If you're not using Amazon Smile, you're not signed up for Ralph's or the other, you can figure out how to sign up for all of them on the Richland website, or if you need help, I'm sure any of us can help you, but encourage your friends to sign up as well. And then I don't know if you want to share the STAR flyer, Soha.
Yes. Yeah, just a reminder that STAR, after school classes are still available via School G for any families that are looking for enrichment for their children. They're a very good program, offer a good diversity between drama and cooking and different other options. I mean, especially now, especially next week, there's going to be a lot of rain, so might be some good classes. And that pretty much concludes the items we had on the agenda. I know we lost Mr. G earlier, but he's here now. So I don't know if some people had more questions for Mr. G or about any of the items that we discussed. We still have time.
I do want to add a couple of things that I forgot to mention. I want to thank Pamela for representing Richland and Webster to help kind of get this STEAM event going through the Mar Vista Community Council. So thank you for that opportunity for our students. Also, I just want to remind you guys, to remind your kids that we do need all the kids to access their Zooms and the curriculum and their assignments through Schoology. This is something that the district is tracking very carefully, and I'm not sure if they're using it for attendance or, but we have a kind of a bit of a disconnect. We have approximately 90% plus, low 90s, that are logging into Schoology, but there's only about 50% that are logging in through Zoom. It shows so I'm guessing that they're not logging in through Zoom through Schoology, that they're just going through like zoom.us, putting in the Zoom ID and logging in that way. So if you could kind of please help me just remind your kids, hey, make sure you go into Schoology, log into Schoology. Then from there, you can click on the teacher Zoom link and access the Zoom that way, because there's a bit of a disconnect, and we want to make sure that we can do it the right way on that, so that the district can count all the numbers and get all the accurate funding from the state. Right now, it's a big numbers game. The district is asking for all kinds of funding to cover, ADA, attendance, all the money that they're spending on COVID testing, all the money they're spending on the grab and go, feeding kids meals. So we want to make sure those numbers are accurate and representative of what's actually going on. So if you could kindly just check with your kids, make sure that they're logging in, getting on Zoom through Schoology. Thank you. And congrats, Kate, you did win.
Mr. G, I actually had a question about Schoology. Speaking of attendance and all, so like in kinder, we have the whole week of assignments. Madame Elodie and Ms. Rojas, they send us, assignments for the whole week in advance, which is really super helpful because you can print and prepare in advance. And often, like, we get ahead over the weekend on some assignment and submit them earlier. Like, is the district expecting to have the assignments of Monday only submitted on Monday and the assignments of Tuesday? Does it matter? I mean, we are doing the work and everything is going
no,
through Schoology.
That part doesn't matter of actually when you're submitting the attendance, but it's the actual logging in through Schoology and logging in through Zoom. So I can show you really quickly. Oops, what did I just do? Sorry, let me just really quickly. Okay, so, whoops. Okay, so this is, can you guys see the Schoology homepage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to log in as an employee because I'm not a student, but the kids will click on students and they'll put in their email and their password, and then they get to, I'm going to impersonate a student here. So I'm going to pretend that I'm CL. And I can pretend to be any student. So this is what her Zoom page looks like, okay? So she goes over here, and I guess still seeing my screen? It says grade 5, term 1 TA. Okay, thank you. Okay, so then when she clicks on this link, she's in Ms. Zoto's, Ms. Goodman's homeroom. So she'll click on that. And then it has the Zoom, like basically her schedule embedded in here. So then she'll click on join, and that's the correct way to go into, to join the Zoom class through Schoology, as opposed to going in through, zoom.us and just putting in the ID number. Okay, now she'll be able to do this correctly through here. She won't be able to do it for the other class. So when she switches classes and she goes to Ms. Zoto's class, it's going to look a little differently. It looks like this. There's no thing to click on. And that's because she's not in Ms. Zoto's homeroom. And that's okay, because she's already logged in once with her homeroom teacher. So the district is counting that as a Schoology login, it's counting it as a Zoom login, and it's giving Richland the proper credit for attendance, logins, everything. Okay, so that's why it's important that they do that. Sometimes the kids will log into Schoology to look at their assignments, but they log in through Zoom a different way, or they're logging in through like Google Classroom, and it really kind of it's starting to hurt us. So we want to make sure that everybody is logging in this way. So the screen again should look like this for their homeroom teacher, where there's a to join button. Okay. And I'll remind them on Monday morning assembly. I've talked to the teachers to help remind the kids because there's a bit of disconnect, and we just want to make sure that we're getting proper credit for the kids that are actually logging in, attending Zoom, because we know the kids are attending Zoom, but the numbers aren't reflecting it. So I think it's just a matter of how they're getting onto the Zoom. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay.
And I think we have a question from Stephanie about chorus class. Actually, a couple of parents in our classroom were asking about that as well.
Course will return. She has to redo basically the Zoom IDs, kind of refresh the course. Same thing will happen for orchestra with Dr. Davis. For dance, it's a little bit different because the dance teacher joins the teacher Zoom. So there's nothing to be done there. But Ms. McQueen will update it. It should be up and running by tomorrow, hopefully. And then same thing for Dr. Davis. So course is going to stay the same. Orchestra is going to stay the same. It's just a matter of the teachers updating it correctly.
Thank you, Mr. G.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we still have some time if anybody, has any concern or want to ask any question or anything at all. Right. Well, we don't want to hold you up. I know you all have, your families to go back to and dinners and all that. And anyways, we do, I want to remind people that Boosters has an email, and you can reach to us anytime about any questions or suggestions. You don't have to wait till the Booster meeting to do that. It's on the school's website under the Booster tab. So if you have any suggestion about anything or concern or question, please feel free to write to us anytime. I don't see any question. Thank you, everybody, for attending this meeting. And thank you, Mr. G, for the presentation. Thank you, Jim, for the briefing on the bylaws. And thank you, Pamela, for walking us through the treasury reports. It's good that, the gap is smaller and smaller. That's great. And have a great evening, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.